for in excess of 48 hours. He's a breath of fresh air. He's been on the show before. His name, Jay Friedlander. Jay, welcome to the seminar. Happy Sunday.
Good morning, Tom. Great to be here.
Now, to refresh our viewers' memories who might not remember, you're a member of Mensa.
I am indeed.
That's a pretty prestigious honor.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been a member for a while. I'm now actually the regional coordinator for the Southwest region, so I oversee about 7 chapters.
How does one apply to become a Mensa member?
There's a test, and you can take it. You can also get in on previous tests. And I think
Are there any horse racing questions on the test?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
But damn it, there should be.
There should be, particularly those of us who think we're smart handicappers.
Exactly.
Now, most of us remember, Jay, the Kentucky Derby, which was run less than 24 hours ago. Of course, the West Coast represented itself very well, with Journalism finishing second and Baeza finishing third. Unfortunately, Sovereignty from the Bill Mott barn, owned by Godolphin Racing, was the ultimate winner of the race. Generally speaking, what did you think of the race itself? Was it cleanly run? Was the pace too fast or too slow? Was the winner the appropriate winner? Just what was your assessment of the Kentucky Derby?
Sure, and first I want to give kudos to my broadcasting partner, Steve Pollock, for picking the winner.
He's been a seminar guest on here before.
He has indeed. So,
and the price was great. $17, I think, and change, if I remember correctly. I'm not a member of Mensa.
It was. I'm still a little sad that Tapan Street, who beat Sovereignty the Florida Derby and who was my advance pick, had that condylar fracture and couldn't go.
Correct.
But I think Tapan Street hopefully still has a future. We'll see how that heals up. But yeah, in terms of the race, I thought it was kind of interesting. Out of the gate, you saw, obviously Citizen Bull went right to the lead. And,
he had no choice drawing the rail position.
Yeah, and Neo Equos did. But it was interesting how they both, as soon as they bolted out of the gate, they shifted in immediately,
they
2 or 3
did.
positions,
They sure
trying
did.
to get off that dead rail.
A little bit Bayern-esque.
Exactly.
If you remember from the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, and it might have just sort of intimidated a couple of the horses behind him, including Journalism.
Correct.
But I thought that was a relatively minor infraction. Then they went up most of the way. East Avenue, I thought, would ultimately take over the speed of the speed. Showed that he really needs the lead to win, and just never was really a threat. He was up there for a while. Owen Almighty, though, really pressed the pace.
Fantastic.
Yeah, kind of off a nice rebound off the last race, which was disappointing, well behind East Avenue and Burnham Square. And Owen Almighty certainly looked like they weren't even going to run him in the race. They were looking at the Pate Mile for him, and maybe that as a prep for the Preakness. But then, the real running began. Burnham Square, who was my pick, I thought probably not the best choice by Brian Hernandez to go along the rail.
Serious trouble that you could see from the drone shot.
Yeah, and I thought they pushed him too early. I think he's a one-run horse, and the idea that we've got to get him closer to the pace was a failed experiment.
Took him out of his game.
Yeah, exactly. But the 3 closers, Journalism, Baeza, and of course the winner Sovereignty, all came from well off the back, set off that pace as expected. It was predicted that there would be a hot pace. There was, and those 3 certainly took advantage of it.
Although the track might have been sloppy, Jay, yesterday, it didn't seem like it affected many, if any, of the races, right? They all had to run over the same surface. There really wasn't an excuse for it being on the sloppy track, in my opinion. You agree with that assessment?
I thought it was pretty formful. I didn't really see anything that surprised me. In terms of Journalism, the one thing I will say is they probably, I don't know if I would have pushed the button at that time. I think because Journalism doesn't have quite the closing kick Sovereignty does, I think they needed to get Journalism gear a little sooner than they did. And Journalism's lead that he made mid-stretch was pretty brief. And I think if they had pushed a little sooner and gotten a little more of an advantage on Sovereignty tactically, could have been a closer race.
Godolphin won both the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, but on the Oaks undercard, the reigning horse of the year, Torpeda Anna, actually ran, and somewhat disappointingly, we've seen this from fillies and mares before, unfortunately. Once they kind of tail off form, they generally stay off form for a long, long time. Lady Secret comes to mind as one example.
A very good example, yeah, or permanently. I'll cite an example, Untappable. You might remember a 3-year-old horse of the, or American champion filly for the 3-year-old division. Had a great 3-year-old year, tailed off at 4, and then at 5, I don't know why they brought her back. She had nothing left. Rachel Alexandra, maybe the classic example.
Sure.
Rachel Alexandra was just the ultimate star at 3, and I thought well deserving. I'm sorry to Zenyatta fans, but
including me, yeah, I know.
But Rachel beat the boys 3 times, and I think then she came back at 4, was not quite the same. I'll always think, Tom, that what happened was that winter, if you remember at the fairgrounds, they were just getting monsoons every day, and she couldn't train for almost weeks. And I always thought, if Asmussen just moved her to say Gulfstream or something where it was dry.
Anita's a good choice.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere like that. But I think she just never recovered her conditioning, and then they had to withdraw from that scheduled duel with Zenyatta. It was finally going to happen, then it didn't. But I'm just wondering about Torpedo Anna, because if you look at the figures, I mean, she had a nice figure in the Breeders' Cup, a nice big figure 2 races before, and the 2 figures that she posted since were pedestrian, like a 95 and a 94 on the Briscale. And I just wonder if we've seen the best of Torpedo Anna.
Fair enough. You mentioned Steve Pollock, our colleague who actually picked the Kentucky Derby winner in advance. You guys have started a YouTube channel, right? What's it called, and how do people access it?
Yeah, I have a channel called Horse Racing World Channel. It's on YouTube.
Just type it in the search box?
Exactly. You can type it in individually, or you can run it all together, whatever's easier for you. And Steve joined me for the first time for a broadcast, and we did a Kentucky Derby preview, and we had over 3,000 views our first time out, so we're very pleased with that. And we're hoping to see more of that as we go on.
Technology is pretty amazing these days, right? I mean, you and I are old enough to remember where there was nothing like YouTube available. We had stacks of racing forums in our closet. I mean, it's amazing what technology has allowed us to do as handicappers.
Yeah, I finally dumped all my old paperwork. It's like, okay, I can access this online now.
He's a member of Mensa. He's going to tell us who he likes on today's 10-race card. But before we do any of that, let's introduce Frank Miramati to the discussion, I should say. He's going to give us the early scratches on today's Sunday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, scratch number 2, Authentic Grace, and note that number 8, Inner Fury, carries 2 pounds over. In the second race, just the blinker note. Race 3, number 3, Jalisco, 4 over, scratch 4, Flashy Fritz, and number 7, Mr. Cardenas, 1 pound over. The fourth is the Santa Barbara Stakes, scratch number 4, Kinjani. Middle pick 4 starts with race number 4. In the fifth, start of the $2 pick 6, no changes, 2-day carryover, more than $77,000 in the pick 6 pool. In the sixth, scratch number 7, Known Idea. The 11 draws in. All turf pick 3 and late pick 5 start with the 6th. Race 7, scratch 4, Highland Echo. Scratch 13, Naval Harbor. Note 11, My Pal George, is 1 pound over. In the 8th, scratch number 1, Exaltation. The 11 will run. 9th race starts the late double. Blinker note. And in the 10th, scratch the also eligibles 11, 12, and 13. Super high 5 wagering is offered. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. We're an hour away from race 1. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest is Jay Friedlander.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Jay Friedlander. You can access his YouTube channel. It's called Horse Racing World Channel, and you'll find some pretty interesting content on there almost on a daily or weekly basis. It's our pleasure to have Jay as our seminar guest today. As you can see on the graphic, the track conditions are fast and firm. It's a little cool and overcast here. The high temperature only expected to be 60 degrees, but not impacting the racing whatsoever. And as you can see, the amount of scratches we've had today are somewhat minimal. All right, Jay, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Starting in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We're going 1 mile and an eighth on the turf course for maiden claiming fillies and mares in for a $50,000 tag. The rails today are at 20 feet on the turf course. Scratch the 2, Authentic Grace, leaves us with a field of 8. Number 3, Holly Go Quickly, is currently the 2-to-1 betting choice, trained by Michael McCarthy. Everybody's back in town. Michael McCarthy, Juan Hernandez, Kaz Kamura, Umberto Rispoli. They get around pretty quickly. They don't let any dust settle underneath their footsteps. You got 8 ways you can go here, Jay. Which way are you going and why?
Yeah, let's see if we can knock off Holly Golightly. Obviously, that last one's a throwout when she lost the iron, but before that, she already had 2 chances at level, failed both times. I don't like horses that fail at this level both times at a short price, and she's going to be a short price again today. So there's 2 horses that I'll take a shot with. The one I like best is on the outside, Inner Circle. Inner Fury, excuse me. Inner Fury had kind of a pedestrian run against much tougher, and before that, over in Ireland against an even tougher field, actually beat 9 horses home. Today, Inner Fury gets a couple of nice works from Phil D'Amato and a very underrated jockey in Serafin Carmona. So I think Inner Fury looks to improve quite a bit today. The other one I'd look at is Giggle Gaggle, or Giggle Giggle, excuse me. Giggle Giggle is another one that's dropping from not quite as tough competition, ran against Straight Maidens, dropped to 80, and is just seeking out her proper level. Peter Urton, of course, is a top trainer and has been for a long time, and I think, again, Giggle Giggle will improve on the drop.
Jay, your top selection, number 8, Inner Fury, actually debuted over in Ireland. It begs the question, you've been a lifetime horse racing fan aficionado. Have you ever gone racing overseas in Europe?
I have not, but I'd love to.
What about Australia? I mean, that's my number 1 on bucket list.
That's where Jason goes. In fact, Jason still might be there. Congratulations to Jason. Just welcome new grandchild to the family.
Of course.
But yeah, I'd love to go there, and there are many venues around the world I'd like to see. I'd like to see Italian racing.
Of course, they over in Australia, they speak English, they drink beer, and they love horse racing. 3 things I like to do as well. Sounds like a good trip. Maybe one day soon. Race number 2, Jay, begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. For maiden optional claimers, take note number 5. Kano for the win is a first-time gelding, the morning line favorite. Number 4, Rank, who showed early speed last time, hopefully duplicating that effort today, cutting back from a route to a sprint. What say you about race 2, Jay?
Hopefully so. And this is a race where I'm not going to try to beat the favorite. Rank has been early speed in all of his route efforts, and today cuts back, but if you look at the 6 furlong split, 111, that's a sprint quality fraction. So certainly looks like he can compete with sprinters here. And just in terms of the overall speed figure, the 96 Brisk figure is skies above everybody else here. Rank is going to be very tough. If there's anybody that can do it, might be number 7, Charlie Foxtrot. Charlie Foxtrot had a very good dirt race. Did not care for turf nearly as much, just kind of ran around the track. But on turf, it was a tough race where 2 other horses, Voldemort and King Stephen, came back to win. And if anybody is going to kind of upset the apple cart here a little bit at a fair price of 9-2, it's Charlie Foxtrot.
Before we take a look at race 3, Jay, a question for you. I know you spent a lot of time looking at trainer-jockey combinations. Can you kind of expand upon that for a minute? You know, sometimes we see a rare jockey-trainer combination, which kind of picks my head up. Maybe using an example, Frankie Dettori riding for a somewhat, low-level trainer. What do you look for when you're kind of analyzing trainer-jockey combinations?
Well, what I look for is, not only have they done well in combination together, but I'm looking for specific areas where they do well together. There are some combinations that do great on the turf. There are some that are abysmal on the turf. I mean, John Sheriff's one of the best dirt trainers out there of Zenyatta, just has never really done anything on the turf. And there are combinations that go the other way as well. So I'm basically looking for the niche that they best occupy.
And you're not going to find that in every race, of course, but when you do find it, that's when you kind of peel the rubber band off the wallet and maybe fire away.
Yeah, I'm especially looking if I see something that's like a 40% number. That kind of lights up my tote board. I see that and it's like, okay, this is an automatic use.
Race number 3, we're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 4.5 furlongs. That's because it's baby time. This race is for Cal-bred 2-year-olds, maiden special weight. Scratch the 4, leaves us with a field of 6. Fianello, the full brother to Phineas, who earned almost $500,000 in his career, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Nothing to go here on form. Are you a pedigree guy? Like, how'd you analyze this race, Jay?
Yeah, obviously Fianello's got the pedigree and has some decent works. This one cost $250,000 at the sale, by far the most expensive in the field. And that last work is pretty fast. Fianello will be no surprise. It's one of the horses I'm using, but the one I'm hoping to get a little bit of a price on is Trump Era, a horse that will probably polarize most of our viewers one way or the other.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, and Trump Era also has some nice works. Had a 5 furlong work last time, which I like to see. It's when you exceed the race distance like that, I think that's a positive. What I like, I think Trump Era is actually going to drift up in price. The jock, Adrian Escobedo, is somebody that is not well known, but he works every day for Ryan Hansen and your colleague Michelle Yu, and they are very fond of him. And together, we talked about jockey trainer percentages. They're hitting at a big 33%. So when Ryan Hansen has struck, it's been with Adrian Escobedo in the saddle. So I think this one is, when you've got a field of unknowns, it's worth taking a little bit of a shot at a price and trying to knock off Fianello, but they'll both be on my tickets.
If those watching and listening to the seminar have a pen and the racing form handy, I'm going to give you some statistics courtesy of DRF Formulator. Maybe you can make a more educated guess as to who might win race number 3. Let's talk about number 1, Fianello. The dam My Fiona actually won her debut. She's had 5 first-time starters with 1 victory, 1 second, and 2/3. So 4 for 5 in the money with her debut runner. So there's some precocity there. Number 2, Mr. Pippins. The dam has had 3 first-time starters with 1 win and 1 second. So 2/3 of the time they've run very well. The dam's the progeny of Mr. Pippins. Jalisco, number 3. The dam won the debut. She's only had 1 foal, did not win on debut. And then as Jay mentioned, not certainly from a pedigree standpoint, but from a workout standpoint, I agree with Jay. I'd like to see for number 5, Trump Era, the workout being longer than the actual race of the distance. Trump Era's most recent workout, as Jay articulated, was at 5 furlongs. Today's race distance is only 4.5. I do like seeing that in these baby races. Jay, the feature race on today's card is race number 4, which is the Santa Barbara Stakes, where fillies and mares are traveling 1.25 miles on the turf course. Also on today's 10-race card, we offer a 50-cent middle pick 4 beginning in race number 4. Scratch the 4 leaves us with a field of 5. Number 6, Mrs. Astor from the Jonathan Thomas barn is the 3-2 morning line favorite. Umberto Rispoli in the saddle. Who do you like in race 4?
Yeah, I love that combination on the lawn. Jonathan Thomas and Rispoli are hitting together at 38%. Mrs. Astor has done very well in graded races, both at Santa Anita and at Del Mar. Wins at both. Last time out beat Starry Heavens, who had a nice run of back class over in Ireland. Wasn't that competitive, but those were very tough races over there. I think Mrs. Astor is going to be very tough to beat, but if there's any one that I would look at that might be able to do it, it's number 1, Sophisticate. Sophisticate finished 4th in the Grade 3 Wilshire, has been moving up to tougher competition. Hector Barros is one of the elite turf jockeys in this colony, and chose this one over another choice that he could have had. Chose this one over Mahina. So I think Sophisticate is probably the most serious threat. I do like the rail position, but really at 1.5 miles, does the rail really help that much? Probably not so much. Mrs. Astor's going to be very tough in here.
The fireworks begin in race number 5. That's because that's when the $2 pick 6 sequence started. And it's mentioned multiple times. 2-day pick 6 carryover of $77,000 already in the pot. And we kick things off in the pick 6 in race 5, sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track for Calbred 3-year-olds, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than a field of 8. The favorite down on the rail, number 1, Western Freedom from the Brian Coroner barn, 9-5 on the Maury line. What say you about race 5, Jay?
I'm going to try to knock off Western Freedom. This is a filly, colt that I think we can beat. And if you look at the debut race, Western Freedom ran pretty well, making the lead in the stretch and almost holding on late. But the one that nailed him was number 4, Checks on the Way. Checks on the Way just pressed the pace every step and just got by. But for some reason, that's been the only dirt race he's run. He's been on turf every time, and the dirt race was by far the standout. I think this horse in the barn must be saying to Simon Callahan, dude, put me back on the dirt.
Well,
That's
he finally listened today, Simon did.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Checks on the Way at 6-1 is going to kind of fly under the radar. I think people look at those last figures, and that 77 turf figure I think will keep a lot of people off Checks on the Way. So while I'm trying to beat Western Freedom, let's try to beat him with another horse. Let Me In just had that phenomenal maiden race. Dropped to maiden claimers. Straight maidens were a little tough, but then dropped to maiden 50,000 level. Drew off by 12 under Kazuki Kamura. Mark Glatt has been just on fire for years at this point. I think he's had 3 years in a row where the guy's been hitting 25 to 30%. So Mark Glatt needs to be on every ticket here. Mark Glatt also starts Triple Diamonds, but I think Let Me In is the better of the two. Triple Diamonds has a shot.
So far in the seminar, you've mentioned Briss a couple of times, and of course, certain handicappers prefer Briss over the daily racing form and vice versa. What are the attributes of Briss that you like from a handicapping standpoint, Jay?
Well, I've been standardized on them for years, and essentially, I like the fact that not only do they have speed figures that I think are a little bit better than the daily racing form figures, but the various class components. They have an average class, but they also have a current class for horses that have either have been running at that speed and distance currently, but it will kind of filter out the ones that have been on a layoff, also ones that have not run on that surface. So I find the current class figure to be very useful, and I also like the way they break down the early and late fractions. I've been looking at the late fractions a lot because early pace is being overbet these days.
No surprise that a member of Mensa is very analytically based. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5, as well as the $3 alt-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% take-on, and we kick off both wagers in race 6, sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course. This race is for $30,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Scratch the 7, known idea. That means the also eligible Nero Tulip does draw into the race and will compete. Drawn right inside of him is the morning line favorite, number 10, Sexy Rexy, officially named Rexford for Little Red Feather. 2-1 on the morning line. Beat the favorite here, Jay, or are you going to take the chalk?
I'm having a really hard time looking past Rexford. Rexford has beaten a couple of horses in here, notably Caribbean King, who is my second choice. And Caribbean King has beaten several in here as well. I just think if you look at this like from a boxing standpoint, who's the linear champion? Rexford has knocked off most of them, and that 92 speed figure is quite fast. It's second only to Invincible, and Invincible's figure was a dirt fig. Rexford has easily the best turf fig in the field and is going to be a very tough competitor. Caribbean King looks like the main competition. I'll try to beat Invincible.
Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Take a look at this field size. 2 scratches. Scratch the 4 and the 13. Still leaves us with a field of 12. In race 7, which begins the 50-cent late pick 4, we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for maiden claiming Calibreds, in for a $12,500 tag. This is not a restricted race, and the lukewarm morning line favorite putting blinkers on is number 2, Chasing Rider, at 9-2 on the morning line. This is a head scratcher, Jay. We need some insight on this race.
Well, Chasing Rider wasn't the favorite, I think, before the scratches, but now the Chasing Rider is. As you mentioned, does get blinkers, and I'm looking back at the first race. This is another horse, we mentioned one earlier, that just didn't care for the turf. It's like, get me back on dirt. This one just really went belly up on the turf, just didn't really show any inclination or liking for it. But that first dirt race was off the charts. That 82 figure was easily the best in the field. And I think this one's going to be pretty tough for a combination of Jeff Mullins and Tyler Bays. They're not having a great meet together, but historically in the past they have. Bays has been a go-to rider for Mullins, and Mullins is a 30% trainer. The other one I like, a bit of a price here, is number 10, El Ondeado. El Ondeado, again, is adding blinkers just like the now favorite is. 3 strong efforts at the $50,000 level and now drops all the way to $12,500. This is the one that Bays abandoned for Chasing Rider, and I think this couldn't ride them both. And Jeremy Laprida is one of these riders that also flies under the radar. He's competent and capable when he gets something to work with, and I think he's got a little something to work with today. He's the one I like if Chasing Rider can't get it done.
Jay, we certainly know you follow Southern California racing, but I don't know the answer to this question. Do you follow other circuits on a daily basis? Do you look at Naira? Do you look at Kentucky? Like, what do you do on a daily basis handicapping?
Oddly enough, I follow some of the smaller circuits very closely. I look at the West Virginia circuit a lot with Charlestown and Mountaineer, and I also look at the Louisiana circuit. So I follow Evangeline Downs and Delta Downs and those circuits as well. I just think there's really good field sizes and there's opportunities there. And of course, I look at Kentucky, New York circuits, the big days. But certainly, I think there's value to be had in other places.
You make a good point, right? Because certainly Southern California, New York, and Kentucky and Florida, it's almost overanalyzed, right? Everybody has an opinion, and it's hard to get an edge. At those smaller tracks you just mentioned, sometimes you can get an edge applying simple handicapping techniques.
Exactly, and it's something I plan to do more with now that I've got the YouTube channel. I think these tracks are underexposed, and I think it's time to expose them a little bit.
Race number 8 begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% tag on, and we're back on the turf course. 1 mile is the distance. $32,000 is the claiming tag. Scratch the 10-year-old number 1, Exaltation, who is the original morning line favorite. That means number 11, Del Mar Jerry, does draw into the body of the race. Morning line favorite likely to be, the revised morning line favorite, I should say, likely to be number 6, Ottoman Prince, who's 7-2, a originally on the morning line, likely to come lower. Jay, before we get your thoughts on the race, 4 of the 10 runners in today's field actually exit the same race. It was back on March 9th. It was the 11th race. And specifically, the runners in today's 8th race that exit this replay we're about to watch are Hurricane Cloud, Sydney Street, Ottoman Prince, and McKinnon. The one I want you to watch in the replay in terms of, I think, had what I would call subtle trouble is Sydney Street. In this replay we're about to watch, Sydney Street breaks from post position number 1. And although there's other runners in this field that obviously beat him that particular afternoon, I think Sydney Street is a little bit maybe over, or I should say undervalued on the morning line at 10-1. I'm going to designate him already as my long shot play of the day. But you be the judge. Let's listen to Frank Merrimeyer describe the action back on March 9th. We'll watch the 11th race and watch Sydney Street compete from post position number 1.
And they're off. Jimmy Blue Jeans broke inward. Here's So I'm Told sprinting up to take the lead. Into It is down at the rail. Jimmy Blue Jeans straightens up and takes second. Ottoman Prince is fourth through the early stages. Then comes McKinnon racing between rivals. Hurricane Cloud is just outside of him. Sydney Street in the Horonis Green is in mid-pack. The 2 trailers are Lottery Pick and stretch running Moody Jim. Around the first turn, and it is So I'm Told showing the way. Perfect trip for Jimmy Blue Jeans tracking in second. Then comes Into It third, and Ottoman Prince 5 off the leader in fourth. Then Sydney Street inside of McKinnon coming to the half-mile pole. It's another 4 lengths back. Lottery Pick, Hurricane Cloud, and Moody Jim. They're heading to the 3/8 point, and it is So I'm Told a length and a half. Jimmy Blue Jeans closing in from second. Then comes Ottoman Prince and Into It, who've been right together throughout. That pair followed by McKinnon and Sydney Street. 2 lengths clear of Hurricane Cloud, Lottery Pick. The trailer is still Moody Jim with a 1/4 mile to go. So I'm Told the long shot leader's been there every step of the way. Jimmy Blue Jeans is in second. Into It is trying to get through the narrowest of openings, having to steady now. And on the outside, here comes Ottoman Prince. Ottoman Prince, Jimmy Blue Jeans, these 2 go on. Ottoman Prince, Sydney Street dives down toward the rail. And here's Lottery Pick from nowhere. Ottoman Prince got there.
Jay, as we watch the gallop out here, there's our good old friend Sydney Street down on the rail in the Ronis Racing colors. I thought it was a bit of a subtle trouble trip because certainly he didn't have a lot of room for most of the race, and as you can see, he was full of run there. But that's just my opinion. Sydney Street is 10-1 on the morning line. You like a runner in here who's even a bigger price on the morning line.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying about Sydney Street. Looked like he was waiting forever for that opening, and it finally opened up, and then he burst through. And had that not happened, might have been a different result.
It's racing luck.
Yeah. But yeah, the one I like is number 7, Calm Sea, another long shot at 12-1. So we've got competing long shots going. This is basically a field of $32,000 claimers, and this guy is an optional $50,000 claimer. Before the layoff, this one made the lead all the time and had a nice little streak going there where it hit the exacta 4 times in a row with 2 of them wins, and then came back from the layoff. Has not been quite the same against probably tougher competition the rest of this field has faced. I think the drop to 32 is going to really help here, and I like the idea of Calm Sea getting out there and hopefully never looking back.
You also like number 6, Ottoman Prince, who is likely to be the post-time favorite. We just saw the replay right now. Really had a nice closing kick in his last effort to emerge victorious.
Yeah, and it's that combination, Diamato and Rispoli. They're 38% together. That's the jockey-trainer angle. This one really kind of came into his own last time. I didn't think he'd be the favorite, but then Exultation scratched, so now he is. And, you know, obviously you're not going to get rich betting Ottoman Prince. I'll try to beat him with Calm Sea, but Ottoman Prince will be on my exotic tickets.
Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% tag on, and we kick off that wager spreading 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's an allowance optional claiming race. 9 winners of 2 other than. We've got a field of 7, 3 of them trained by Mark Glad, including number 2, Traeger, who's 2-1 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, courtesy of our friends at FirstTV.com, Jay, I want to watch a couple of workouts. Specifically, the first workout we're going to watch is number 5, Vlahos. This workout was back on April 27th, and we're going to watch Vlahos break from the gate on the outside. And I want you to watch watch the body language of the exercise rider. Vlahos brakes so sharply that he doesn't urge this horse for the remainder of the workout. And all you got to do is glance down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Vlahos worked 5 furlongs in 59 and change without any sort of urging whatsoever from the exercise rider. In my opinion, this was an eye-catching work. Toby Terrell also categorized it as a super workout. As we continue to watch the workout, you'll understand why. Because again, the body language on the exercise rider is so important. He never moves a muscle the entire workout, and yet he's able to accomplish that quick time. The other thing I want you to take note, which is more visible now, is this was a workout with blinkers off. The cheek pieces are on, but the blinkers are off. And in this particular case, this afternoon, this will be the first time that Vlahos ever runs with blinkers off. I have a sneaky suspicion, even though Vlahos has a tremendous amount of early speed already as documented in his past performances, I think he's going to be on the lead. Edwin Maldonado in the saddle, 5-1 on the morning line. To me, and also Toby Terrell, this was a fantastic, terrific workout. Now contrast that with the Invader from in the John Sadler barn coming in from Chile. This would be number 7, Gamo Tack. First-time starter in North America, adding Lasix. Been running in some really big, lucrative fields over in Chile. There's nothing wrong with this workout at all. I actually thought this was a really good workout. You can tell by even the speed of the camera. You can tell this horse is working fast, but it's not as quick as Vlahos. 5 furlongs here for Gamo Tack in a minute and change. He's an interesting horse. This is an interesting race, Jay, because the inside 2 Mark Glatt runners are coming off long layoffs. Ultimate Gamble is coming off also a layoff as well. There's a lot of question marks. Even though it's a field of 7, there are a lot of question marks in this race. So I'm interested to see as we watch the finalization of Gamo Tack's workout back on April 12th. I'm interested to see how you attack this race and who you like best and why.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Gamo Tech. This one's been running against quality fields back in Chile. Long distance fields. The last one was 1 mile and 3/16. This at 6 furlongs clearly looks like a prep. It doesn't seem like it's its best game. And I just don't think the work was nearly as impressive as you pointed out with Vlahos. It looked like he was just out there just having fun. This one, I think the 2 speed horses in the field are Vlahos and right below him, Bagnik. And Vlahos actually beat that one on the square. I've always liked Vlahos. I think he's been the speed of the field in most of the races. Like Edwin Maldonado staying with the mount. Edwin's the best sen jock in the colony, and I think Vlahos is going to go to the front. I do think Judge Miller is going to mount a serious charge. That 1:11.3 work that Judge Miller posted shows me that he's ready, but at the same time, this horse was running in Grade 2, Grade 3 competition. This $80,000 optional claimer is not the goal. So I don't think, if Judge Miller can do it on his own without a lot of urging, but they're not going to empty the tank for this one. This is a workout for Judge Miller. I'll have them both on my ticket.
We close out the day, we close out the week, and we close out the Pick 6 with a super competitive race in race number 10, which also offers $1 super high 5 wagering. And we close things out sprinting 6 furlongs on the flat turf course. It's a race for Calbred, fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 3 also eligibles. 11, 12, and 13 have been declared out of the race. Number 3, Big Pop, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. In order for us to hit the Pick 6, we need the winner in the nightcap, Jay. Who's it going to be?
I don't think it's going to be Big Pop. You look at that breeding, and Mr. Big on top, and yes, it's True Mare on the bottom. It screams dirt to me. If you look at the statistics, 9% turf, 5% first turf on the bottom. I think Big Pop, despite the big dirt number, is a horse that is ready to be beaten. And the one I love here, it's my favorite bet on the card, no, it's not a huge price, is number 7, Blevy's Tiger. Blevy's Tiger, very interesting breeding here. Recoiling is a daughter of Coil, and Coil was just a mini monster for Bob Baffert. Not really a turf monster, but the turf breeding is in the background. And if you look at the daughters of Coil as far as that turf, dam sire goes, only 2% winners first turf, but then 13% overall. So Blevy's Tiger, who just ran up the track the first time on turf, was really bred to do that. And then just last time out, just improved a ton. Took a measure of Elegant Sway and then blew past her, just falling short by a nose while holding off Blue Wildcat. Blue Wildcat is my trifecta pick here. That's the second pick here, but I'd say make it a cold trifecta. Play Blevy's Tiger with Blue Wildcat with all, Blevy's Tiger with all with Blue Wildcat. Big Pop beats me, but love Blevy's Tiger to close it out.
7 and 10 to close out an excellent and very competitive 10-race card. Jay, thanks so much for your time and insight today. It's always a treat having you here on the seminar. If you want to see more of Jay's content, just go to his YouTube channel, Horse Racing World Channel. Just put that in the search box. You'll find tons of interesting content. Best of luck today, Jay. We'll do it again real soon.
Great, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you, Jay, very much. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. 2 more quick reminders. First of all, what about the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5? Did you see the payout yesterday? Of course it paid well. $1 minimum, low 15% takeout, 5-race sequence beginning with Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 1:43 a.m. Pacific time, including races 4, 5, and 6, I should say, from St. Anita to close it out. Live racing resumes this coming Friday at St. Anita. We'll have a 9-race card for you beginning at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon and good luck.